Speak to My Heart Life Coaching presents the Door to Expansion webcast. Your host, Mar Anthony Hubbard. Co-host, Stephanie Hollins Passmore. Prepare your ears to listen and your heart to receive. As you take in words that change lives, renew hearts, and open minds.
All right.
Hey.
What is going on?
Nothing much.
Seems like it's been so long.
Forever ago.
I
Yeah.
don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Hey, life happens, right?
You ain't kidding about that. So I guess that's what's bringing us into the struggle is real.
The struggle is real.
So I want to welcome everybody to the Door to Expansion. I am your host, Mar Anthony Hubbard, the owner and founder of Speak to My Heart Life Coaching. And I have my co-host here, Miss Stephanie Hollins Passmore. You want to give a little intro?
I think everybody know who I am.
Okay, then. All right.
Let's just get into it.
Let's
Mental health therapist, mediator. Added divorce coaching to it. So anybody want to uncouple, call me. But
hey,
yeah,
no, don't be putting it out there like that. Dang.
not like that. But yeah, it's
Hey,
been a minute though.
the struggle will be. It is real then.
It is.
All right. So this topic right here, the struggle is real. I mean, I think we all have struggled some part of our life, even if we're not struggling right now. And so, if you wanted to actually look and define the word struggle, it's defined as to make forceful or violent efforts to get free of restraint or constriction. So every day we struggle from the simplest things as getting out of bed sometime as hard as, and then up to something that's as hard as someone's life that is on life support. So, having to make a final decision such as that. Even stuff that you just mentioned about the divorce word, a very hard decision in some people cases. Should I do it or should I not do it? And but that one decision right there, it can change the trajectory of your life. So one of the biggest things that we have to sit and think about is the decision that we make. And right now, uh, whenever we look at what's going on in the world today, it's some major decisions happening. Am I going to eat or am I going to get gas? Am I going uh which is crazy whenever you have to sit and think about it. Which one do you want? Do you want to eat or you want some gas? But hey, it is what it is at the end of the day. And it's just a decision that we must make. So with that being said, we're gonna just jump right on in here and we're gonna just start talking about some motivational killers.
Mm.
Uh
I, I can
oh
think of a
man.
few.
Here we got our first comment right here. Sometimes divorce is a blessing. Doing it with coaching could really make it cheaper and less traumatic. That's a very true statement.
Who is that?
Uh, hey, on my Facebook user, your name didn't show up. So can you shoot a name on here so we can give you some shout outs?
They're definitely telling the truth. So, yeah.
Yeah, very true. Sometimes, hey, what did he say? Sometimes you gotta let it go.
Mm-hmm. Gotta let it go.
So that right there was Tara. That was Tara. Hey,
Gotcha.
Tara, how you doing? Glad you tuned in today. I'm quite sure you can help us out with some motivational killers, especially folks that's been in the military. We know uh, some true motivational killers whenever we start thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
But first one, motivation killer, we're gonna talk about is comparing up. And
Compare.
whenever you start thinking about comparing up, you got anything that you wanna shout out about comparing up?
Well, you tell me, what is comparing up, meaning like we're making comparison to.
Yeah, whenever a lot of people start comparing themselves to other people, always looking at people who you perceive have it all together, and that right there can easily dampen your own self-image and your own motivation. But
Yeah.
not trying to realize you're looking at the ending of their journey, not the beginning of their pursuit, is one of the biggest things and hardest things that I think a lot of people uh, kind of forget about.
Yeah, and are they portraying the real struggle? That they portraying all the easy work, if it is easy, like, but they're not, couples or individuals don't necessarily show their struggle. They don't allow that vulnerability for individuals to like really look into what they're going through. So what we're seeing is just the other end, the light at the end of the tunnel, the achieved goal, the vision. We're not looking at the journey. Yeah.
It's funny. I remember, especially being in the military, we always talking about the light at the end of the tunnel. And I say, hey man, you can look at it two ways. It's the end of the journey, or it's the train that's coming in the view. So whichever one, however you want to look at it, there it is at the end. But
Hmm.
whenever we sit up there and try to compare ourselves to each other, it's and that's it brings me to a point whenever I start thinking about comparing ourselves to other. Whenever isn't it amazing whenever we have problems, what's the first thing we say? Man, I'm glad I ain't in your shoes. Or, man, if I was in your shoes, I would do this. But you're not in that person's shoes. And why do you need to look at somebody else's situation and to downplay yours? Whenever you start comparing your own self, looking and the way I look at it is, am I a better person today than I was yesterday or a month ago or a year ago? And whenever I look at it that way, I'm not comparing myself to others. I'm comparing myself to who I am now. And to me, that's what the only thing that make me a little bit stronger, and they keep pursuing on the things that I'm doing.
Yeah. Looking back to how we were, last week or a month ago, or, yeah. I think we should just worry about ourselves, look at ourselves and not to the next person. Unless you want some perspective, unless you want to understand somebody who's going through the same struggles, unless you want to be an influence or impact to someone.
And you make a great point. And if you look at it that way, then yes, I would say so. But if I did do that, or if I'm coaching somebody in that type of manner, I would like still don't look the outcome of their situation, because we're always going to be in our own lane. And that's just like if somebody say, "Oh well, this happened to this person, so it got to get better." Well,
Hmm.
they was strong enough. They in that situation for a reason, And if they're in that situation for a reason, it was decisions that they made. So are you gonna make the same decisions? So
But I can look at that consequence and be like, yeah, let me weigh these options again. Let me go back to the drawing board. Yeah, because other people can be lessons, right? Their struggles can be, a lesson learned without the hard consequence. So, yeah.
that's very true. But the question is, how many times? Well, I think that's the difference
Mm,
between knowledge and wisdom.
yeah.
I have the knowledge to not do that, but do I have the wisdom to, you know what? I'm gonna learn from you. I'm gonna learn from your mistakes, and I'm gonna avoid that obstacle right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, of course, on the show, if we give you a problem, we also have to give you a solution. So, for this motivation killer right here, a good solution for that would be instead of focusing on others, learn from them by understanding where they have been to get to for them to get to where they had to get, and then also by you learning from that, it'll get you to the place that you need to be at. So that's a good little solution for you right there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna move on to
What's number 2?
motivation killer number two. Too much aspiration or intention.
Who's
What
too much? Like, too much aspiration?
too
Too
much?
much intention?
So, you know,
Does this go with like having unrealistic expectation?
very much so.
Okay.
So with this one right here, don't allow your ultimate goal intimidate. Man, I cannot talk today. Intimidate you from starting. So to finish, you must begin. Learn how to take the small victories. So of course, we always talk about the elephant, and you look at the elephant, and you know you got to move this elephant. But how do you
Mhm.
break this elephant down? And a lot of people, instead of, you know, well, we're in March right now. Back in January, when we first started, everybody goes to lose weight. And most people put like, I'm gonna lose 20, 30 pounds. And that was a good aspiration or intent to do something about maybe for your health or something. Maybe it's to look better for somebody, whatever it is.
Mhm.
But here we go. We're in March and we probably still have that same goal, but we ain't did nothing because we sitting up here waiting on tomorrow to come.
Probably ain't even got on a scale, ain't even like to see where our starting point is. You know what I'm saying? To where we want to get to. Like,
Stephanie,
it
don't
looks
talk
good
about
on, well, I'm saying, okay, I'm okay, yeah. So it looks good on paper, on a vision board and all that, like a slimmer Marinthony.
so just
But
because I go in there and start using filters to slim my head down a little bit or to give myself a little neck, hey, don't come at me like that. Today is Sunday. Do not come at me like that.
Mhm. But how many times have we written things down? Like got all motivated, we got out our crayons and, sparkly markers and things and cut out pictures to create our vision board. And then we just kind of like, that's all the strength we had or that energy to do that. And then we just set the board aside or no longer, or don't even come back to our little checklist to even start.
I think it happens quite too often. And I think one of the reasons why we do that is because, and just like how I mentioned in here, you got to learn to take the small victories. Every day there should be some type of winning spirit in any and everything that you do. So sometimes something as simple as, like you had mentioned, stepping on the scale. Even if that was the only thing you did that day was to step on the scale, take that as a win. Because tomorrow, whenever you start, you already know I weighed yesterday I weighed this amount right here. So even the next day, if you stepped on the scale and it was a pound lighter, hey, you know what? That's a win for me. So no matter whatever I did that day, as long as if I can continue doing something like that, take the victory instead of trying to wait until, and a lot of people, whenever you coaching people and counseling people, you don't sit there and say, all right, then I want you to start today. And then in 3 weeks, I want you to go and weigh yourself.
Mhm.
Where's the motivation in that? So sometimes it's the small things that really matter.
And for me, instead of eating the whole bag of chips, I'm gonna take me a handful out Roll the bag back up and put that up. Put up. What? I really don't appreciate Stephanie pushing my little feelings. They gonna have to put their name to it.
See,
hey, the struggle is real for everybody, me included.
Hey, what you say? You just told off on your own self whenever you start talking about that bag of chips, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's all pause, Stephanie.
I bet that's Carlos or somebody.
Probably so. I hope it is Carlos, because Carlos, he didn't do a show today, so I'm gonna call him out there too. Motivation. I'm calling you out, Carlos, because that you was my motivation today, and I didn't get my motivation.
Look,
So I'm calling you out.
Coach Carlos.
Yeah,
Coach Carlos.
there you go. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Oh, so here we got to give them. We got to get the people a solution here, Stephanie. So
Mm-hmm.
if you got too much aspiration or intention, the solution for this one is having consistency and winning will allow your momentum to keep you engaged and moving towards the goal. To me, that's easy said. Just continue to move on, one foot in front of the other. This is not a race. I mean, it is a race. I always tell anything, life is a race. So no matter if you're crawling, if you're walking, if you're running, you're still moving forward. But
Yeah. It's up to you to set your own pace. Don't like comparing up, comparing your journey to someone else's. Like, set your pace, set a true intention, set a realistic expectation, and don't beat yourself up when you don't necessarily just meet that that goal every time. Like, pace yourself. Just chew off enough that you can handle, you can swallow.
So here, this is Tara again. Thanks for throwing your name in there, Tara. Yeah, I'm not sure why the profile, and I think it's just because of this program. Uh, but I find myself feeling very alone in relating to family. I've had a rough year dealing with family, especially my siblings and parents. I think the military has made me feel isolated. I often feel like my intentions are often taken advantage of. It makes me want to isolate even more because the stress is overwhelming and really amps up my trauma responses, which causes me to be very erratically emotional, like I struggle regulating, especially with, and it kind of cut off right there.
Yeah.
So to me, yet again, going into the coaching mode on this one right here with that isolation feeling, and whenever we start talking about those motivational killers, I what I would recommend, and this is just me, and I'm quite sure Stephanie, from the counseling standpoint, you can come in and talk about yours. But if you often feel like, oh, especially with food,
Mm-hmm.
so we have, let's see, so taking this taking this one right here, taking this elephant right here. So especially your siblings and alone and relating to family, had a rough year dealing with them. I think the military has made me feel isolated. Yes, and being in the military after 20 plus years, I understand that feeling of isolation, but the very simple fact that you are isolated. You know, whenever we grew up, if you weren't a military brat, you had family all around you, all day, every day, and that was so refreshing to have that. And then once you go into the military, all your lifelines are basically taken away, and especially depending on what type of person you are you going to gravitate to everybody else and have that same family community type spirit? And most time we don't really get that. So in an instance like this, taking those small victories is basically taking the family, taking your immediate family, or maybe even family friends, and then those small wins that you would have is basically communicating with them to find out, hey, this is how I'm feeling, and then go from there. And that's how I would take, little small victories in there. It's just being able to communicate with them, and it kind of relieves some of the stress and the pressures that you have amongst yourself. Because the biggest thing that what's really happening is you isolating your own self from everybody else. And with that feeling of being alone, yeah, it's never a good thing. And that's where the trauma actually started at right there.
And I see it as a positive. Let me tell you why. Because
Okay.
sometimes our families, parents, siblings, I'm talking from experience, can be our stressors. And
True.
sometimes that intention of isolation is very much necessary because you can get fatigued by being like your family's resource. If you're that person that they come to for anything, for advice, for finances, just your presence, like it can be draining. And so sometimes being isolated, whether it's intentional or the military has separated you from family, sometimes it can be a very much needed thing because in isolation, oftentimes we gain clarity. We are, we can let go of stressors. We can be separated from those stressors. Um, so I would take it as a win. Sometimes you need time and space to just reevaluate, to be able to create vision, set goals for self and not for others. Because oftentimes when we're in isolation, we don't have the opportunity to compare up. We don't have the opportunity to compare our journeys to everyone because we're on our individual journey. So isolation can sometimes be very necessary.
There you
Yeah.
go. There's the two sides to the coin right there. So it all depends. And it all depends on what you're looking for and what what opening do you need in there. So
Mhm.
there it is, y'all.
You got to hear from everybody on what you should do, how you should do it. Is that
It's all about
too
you.
much in your in? You, hey, and I'm always preaching on you got to be a little selfish, you know.
All right. So that was Miss T right there saying she didn't appreciate you stepping on her feelings. And,
Sorry, hon.
and, and instead of that being Carlos, that was her that was talking on that one right there. And oh, I know you know this one all too well right here.
Well, I was about to say who this is my I feel like this is my what you call it,
That's your safe space over there.
my safe space, but this may be my like connection. What do you call that when you are soulmate?
Yeah.
My friendly.
So right here, we have that in the PhD program. A lot of people walk away. And Miss T, yes, she is very, very close to getting her PhD. And so, and I know you in that same boat right there. And
What did I tell you the other day?
I know that's what I'm saying. So here it is, right here. Some people walk away from it, and it's not that it's not that it's not that you want to walk away from it, but it's always the decisions that you make. And is it right? Is it at the right time? So there you go. Oh, she said it's telepathy.
I was telling Moranthony, what was that? Was it Thursday?
Yeah, I think so.
Wednesday, Thursday, and I had worked my program, and I was like, I'm done. I am so done. Like I had like 7 papers and a lit review to do, and that was all in one day. And the due date was like Sunday at 11:59, and I'm here up at 2:30 in the morning, up until 8 o'clock at night, writing all these papers and stuff. Oh, and by the way, an A, but but I'm still done for right now. I don't want
Uh,
to go back to school.
so motivational killers. We did not put in here. We didn't put in here procrastination either.
look, that was on my list of motivational inaction.
Okay. All right.
Inaction.
All right. So Tara, she said she came back. I call it setting boundaries. Yes, I am. I am the stable one. I'm the youngest of 9. Woo, woo.
Mm.
And I have never felt like I fit. So invested in work and led me to rush to make my own family. Hence marriage number 3. I grew stiff. They
Mm.
just gaslight me, I guess, and saying I'm being callous. That is a true statement right there. That is a
Mm-hmm.
true statement. So
Yes. Boundaries.
Yes, got to set them. As much as we don't want to sometimes.
Not many of us have them. Oh, let's be frank.
Yeah, yeah,
But boundaries too. They go for
yeah.
boundaries too. Yeah. Now
All right.
people calling me out procrastinating. I know what it is. I know what my problem is. Let's talk about y'all.
Hey, like we say, the struggle is real for everybody.
Look, a sister is living life right now. I'm working, taking care of business. Some school papers go have to wait.
So motivation killer number 3 here. Hold on, we got one more comment in here. Make sure we get that one in there. Oh, just put LOL in there. So they know. They know.
Yeah.
All
That
right.
that that literature review is not paying my bill right now. So
What you mean? The only thing you have to do is whenever that bill come in, just put literary review on there and then mail it back in.
all right. Next time I'm on here, we're gonna be sitting in the dark.
With Kim by candlelight, huh? Hey,
By
this is what
candlelight.
happened.
Yeah.
All right. So motivation killer number 3, no enjoyment. So include people in your
Oh,
journey. Not every day will you have the motivation to keep going, but having someone beside you to celebrate the wins will help you persevere. Also take the necessary breaks, as in get rest. So motivation killer number 3, you're not enjoying it.
man.
Hey, how many times have you just been just so excited and so ready to do something and it's just like this is not fun anymore as far as the PhD class.
Oh yeah. I want to be called Dr. Stephanie. And I see the light, but I don't like the process. I do not like the process. That's fatiguing me. You got anything going on right now where you just was hyped up and it's like that the adrenaline is running low right now?
You know what? If I had the opportunity to pull up my coach, uh, as far as my physical trainer, and
Mm-hmm.
and to show a picture of him, that's my motivation. You know,
Okay.
whenever you get that nice V cut, and then you can't even get an 8-pack because the ripples are rippled down, and you can't even get an 8-pack in there, and then the muscles just start bouncing. That's him. That's him. And
Oh,
and I'm just like, okay, then that right there is what I want.
okay.
But this
Now
right here,
let's go back to comparing up
I'm not comparing up. No,
and
that's it,
realistic expectation. Let's look at your body type.
Steph. I think you finna have some technical difficulties over there. Okay? So I don't really call.
So who you trying to look like? Is you trying to look like let's
I'm
see
trying.
some
I'm trying to look like myself, but
oh okay.
I'm trying to look like myself. Like I said, I'm not. I'm not trying to. I'm not
Like
comparing myself to them.
2012 yourself or
Yeah, yeah.
okay, around there. Okay.
Maybe 1996.
Oh, okay.
But realistic expectations, I guess. So I'm
Hmm.
not, and so for me, the no enjoyment part, of course, and so just to go back on that, include people in your journey. Not every day will have that motivation to keep going, and whenever we start thinking about working out, going to school and stuff like that, if we don't
Hmm.
have anybody with us to actually be with us as we continue to go on the journey, we'll lose our motivation more than anything. And sometimes that's how I feel. You know, I can go for 2 weeks straight, making sure I'm working out, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, hitting all the wickets. But then at this time, it's just like, okay, then ain't nobody looking. So I think I'm a cheat on this day right here, and then that one day turns into a week, and then it's time, and now it's hard to get back up on a bike and be like, here, I know I need to do this, or I need to hit these weights, and then it get harder and harder. So having that nobody in your journey or in your corner, yes, it to me it runs sour sometimes.
Hmm.
So
But
that's what I mean.
there's really no one to save you. Like you got to motivate yourself.
True, But yet again, it's a motivational killer, okay? Because the struggle
Mhm.
is real.
It's
So,
real.
but the solution is for me, I know I got to find a way to have fun with it. So whether I take a day and just go and do something that's just out of the ordinary, and that's the other thing, repetition. If I
Mhm.
and for like he gave me a nice workout plan. So on Monday and whatever day, it always go and flow in there. But then also, because since I'm working out in my home gym and not going into like an actual place, I think that could be a little motivational killer as well, because I'm still doing the same exercise, but then
Mhm.
going into like an actual gym and working out in there, different equipment, doing different things. That's one of them things like, okay, then. So now for me, it's finding that fortitude and within myself to say, okay, then are you going to stay on this journey right here? So
Mhm. How long have you been doing it?
about 2 months now. And I mean, I actually lost weight and everything, and I actually gained a
I'm
couple
starting
pounds.
to see, like, is this a jailhouse type workout? Like,
No, no,
or is that the shirt? Is that the
no,
shirt?
that's just traps right there. You know what I'm saying? That's. But you know what? That ain't even from working out. That's natural there.
Look, I ain't never seen that. I ain't never seen that. No, it's the sweater. It's the sweater.
That's probably why I put this little tight shirt on. I ain't gonna stand up because my belly might be showing.
It's not a turtleneck, is it?
No, it's not. What? You know what? Why are you making this a joking show today? But you know what? But this right here is what we call the struggle is real. But the simple fact that we can just sit and laugh at our own self, that's the key to it. Instead of people being depressed and down all the time, this is what it's all about to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's T. So shoot, I'm just trying to finish these 3 last classes for my batch. Oh, actually, that's Tara. Just to find out, I'm gonna need a master's minimum. So she must be trying to go in for that counseling degree as well.
Mm-hmm.
Been there and
Keep
done
at
that
it.
one.
Keep at it.
Shoot, can I get 2018 me?
Everybody
See,
was pre-COVID bodies
hey,
back.
let's do it. Let's do it. Oh
Mm-hmm.
man.
Oh,
But since
somebody said it's medium. Ooh,
oh, is that how we rocking today? That's how we rocking medium?
that's what they
Okay.
said. That's what they
Okay. So you know what? Y'all are my motivation killers right now. No enjoyment. No enjoyment. Help me help myself, please.
Well, no, you looking all right. You looking all
All
right.
right. So the solution is find a way to have fun. All right. How about that?
Look, prove it to us. That's all. Just shut us up. Prove it.
But you know what? With all that being said, it actually leads us into our next topic right here.
Hmm.
Self-critics. But before we go to that, hey, you know what? Let's see. Let's do a little commercial break in here. And
Okay.
our commercial break is gonna be a little older commercial break, but we was
Okay.
talking about before Christmas time, we was talking about speaking life into business. So hey, hang out for a second while
All
we
right.
show this. So this portion of the show, we're gonna switch it up a little bit, and it goes on along with the struggle is real. It's called our
Mhm.
own worst critic. And how many of us are our own worst critic? And just like how at the beginning of that show, how we was talking about it, just like, hey, I know I can do better, but at the same time, here's some effects of being your own self critic. The first one is you become the victim.
Mhm.
And whenever we become the victim of anything, it's you know when you whenever you become the victim, you look for the attention, and what it really does is divert from the real issue. So you look to escape the harsh judgment and consequences. So uh, some of the things it does, it creates a distraction from taking action on for yourself, and allows you an excuse to procrastinate, which all the time I think any and all of us procrastinate in some shape, form, or fashion. So
Yeah, it's a deflection tactic. We all
yeah,
use it. We
yes,
all use it. And yeah, because we don't want to, either take responsibility either for our own, just saying not to really place blame, but we just don't take responsibility for our actions, and nor do we want to take responsibility for the potential either. You know what I'm saying? So we choose to just sulk and stay in it.
and that's a bad thing. Uh, so So we said distracts from taking action. Also, it puts up negative reinforcement, and it also lessen others' words. So the biggest one, and I think that's one of the biggest ones right there, lessen other words, because here we are. You have somebody that's really trying to motivate you to keep pushing on, but you being your own self critic. Basically, what it is you just stop, and it's just like, hey, I understand what you're saying, but I'm
It's a
causing
but
this pain.
always.
Uh,
Always a
yeah.
but.
And that's what it leads to, that word but, and it's just everything just stops after that. So it's good. And how many times have we ever how many times have you ever somebody asked you, hey, how do you think you did? And for me, right before the show began, I said the same thing. It was like, hey, I did the one show and I felt bad behind that show because
Mhm.
I was self-critiquing myself. Now, one thing that self-critique try to do for you is to try to make you improve on yourself. But whenever you have this reality of how you think you should have done, and you don't think that you actually uh, achieved that, sometimes it backfires, and instead of you moving forward, you really taking some steps back. So for me, it kind of I try to use it as something that helps me boost me up. And so, like, and just speaking on our last show, I felt that I just wasn't there. So this one right here, I was like, you know what? Prepare yourself. Do this, do that, and then
Mhm.
let's see if this one's gonna be any bit better. So that's just me, and that's how I take that self critic.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's that self-critique, the effects, we have to speak life into ourselves.
Yes,
Biblically, what is it? I'm the Medea of Bible verses, but it's like, life, there's life and death in the tongue. Is
in the
that how
tongue.
it goes?
Yeah,
And so we have to speak life. It's like with the negative self-talk, we manifest negative effect, right? So we have to speak life and speak life abundantly. And yeah.
yeah,
And when you're in, if you keep, if someone keeps trying to speak life into you and you have this but, or you have like, that ain't me, blah, blah, people are gonna get tired of trying to speak like they gonna use their words and energy on somebody else.
yes.
You block your blessings.
And I didn't seen that happen plenty of times right there. That whenever the blessings were blocked, just because of that very reason, is because somebody just like, no, no, I'm not, no, I can't. Like, wait a minute. Why don't you just let it soak in for a second before you start opening your mouth? Just let it soak in for a minute, and then you just think, you know what? Maybe this is maybe it is okay. Maybe it is all right.
Or the
because
person standing next to you listening in and be like, you know what? I'll
I'll
take
take
it.
it.
I'll take
Got it.
it. Move.
And be like, you got any more words for me?
Yeah. Prophesy on me. Prophesy on me. Mm-hmm.
So here's some solutions to this right here. So first, get some rest.
Mm-hmm.
Reward yourself and then reset. That's some of the biggest things that whenever we sit and think about the struggle is real, is some sometimes whenever we go too hard or be too hard on ourselves, these are some of the results right here. So just to make sure you stay out of the struggle, just do these three things right here. And sometimes it's a lot easier said than done by getting that rest. Because one, if you procrastinating, what rest can you get? Because you burning the midnight oil. But then, so Stephanie, how did you reward yourself after doing
Slept. I think it took me the whole weekend to recover. Like, no, the whole week and this weekend to recover. So yeah, I think I rested. I think I was able to actually do some self-care, like read a book that didn't require reading, didn't require me to read, but just, for enjoyment. And and I was just thankful that I made it through another semester. So that was a reward in itself. Like I got it done. By the
so?
grace of God, I got it done.
So
It
now,
wasn't me. It was God. If God didn't do it, it wasn't gonna get done. So yeah, by the
so
grace of God, I got it
so
done.
now you kind of resetting yourself to either to move on into that degree program or to move on. Like life happens, so go into life a little bit better.
Yeah,
Not comparing yourself to anybody except yourself.
accept myself. Look,
What it,
I may not be Dr. Stephanie Hollins on paper official, but I can call myself Dr. Steph.
I do it all the time. I'm MD Hubbard.
MD. Hmm.
That's what my initials say.
I was gonna say initials.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm always looking to do surgery on somebody. So if you want me to if you got a splinter in your hand and you want me to chop your finger off, come holler at me. If you got a hung toenail, if you want me to chop your toe off your foot, come holler at me. I mean, I'm gonna take it to the extreme and I'm gonna hook you up. So that's what I'm here for. Now,
Yeah.
I just said chop it off. I didn't say nothing about sewing it up or anything like that. I'm just gonna chop it off and you're gonna walk off and that's gonna be it.
And then you're going to coach somebody through how to get through life without a toe or a finger.
And what's wrong with that? I'm here for you. I am here for you. Okay.
For the aftermath. Yes.
Let's
All
see.
right.
Keep
Okay.
calling yourself Doc. That will finally show up in your life. See, there you go.
All
That,
right. I'm gonna put it on a vision board.
like I said, I don't call it manifestation. I call it declaration. It's already there for you.
Oh,
So you got to declare.
okay. Declare. Okay. Let me got
Yeah.
my pen.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
heard. I heard that from somebody. Somebody was like, manifestation mean that's man's work. But if you already declaring something, that's already in there. It's already for you.
Oh, okay.
Say yes, please. Don't put that on your vision board.
Yeah.
Well, Miss Stephanie, you have anything? I mean, we're gonna wrap it up a little bit early, y'all. I mean, unless y'all have any more comments, we really thank y'all for actually participating with us. Uh,
Hmm.
apparently, Stephanie is in a good mood today since it was.
Look, I ain't got no schoolwork. I done ate some chicken.
I thought you
Um,
were gonna say some chips.
no, I had me a 6-piece chicken, wings, all drums, barbecued
That
to
didn't come.
perfection,
That didn't,
beans and meat and cornbread.
that didn't come from Church's Chicken.
Oh, we not fixing to get on churches. Ugh.
Do y'all, is there? That's not even the Church's Chicken in up there,
No,
and that's not even in a 100-mile radius.
ain't no church's chicken up here. in the whole state of Washington.
Maybe I'll send you some. How about that?
I don't eat churches. Who eats churches? Whoever on here, please log in. Who eat churches?
Hey, apparently you ain't had one of them apple pies from churches. I don't even fool with apple pies like that, but
Uh-huh.
seal of approval on that one there.
Let's not eat too many apple pies because we gotta go, right? We have a goal.
So now we go right back to
Apple
this.
pie. I don't think church's apple pies was on your trainer's list.
You know what? That was a motivational killer for me.
Look, no, sometimes motivation comes in a package of real. I'm your real friend. I'm gonna say, let's not eat the church's chicken.
See?
Oh, see? Oh,
See, Tara, she
who
love the
said
offer
bougie?
now.
Oh, who bougie and bad? Churches is or me? Cause
You.
and look, and I don't eat dark meat either, so that's bougie too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now this is somebody from Texas now. Boy, I tell you. Boy, been in
Yeah.
Washington too long.
Yeah, but you know what I wanted to add in, like our motivation killer is like really pay attention to who you have around you, your circle of influence and impact.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, my thing with that one right there is if you in a group of people and all of y'all are like-minded, you might need a new circle. And the reason why I say that is because if everybody is going one certain way, how are you ever going to expand? And
Or have
sometimes,
balance. Just have
yeah,
some balance.
some type
Yeah.
of balance. So I totally agree with that one right there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. So Miss Ann Wise. Hello, Miss Ann Wise. She said no churches for me. I don't
Thank
understand.
you. Like
Miss
like her name, Wise.
Miss
Don't
Wise,
eat churches.
I'll be in Little Rock in probably about a week or two. So I'm gonna make sure I bring some chicken by the job site for you.
Mhm. A 2-piece and a biscuit.
Yeah. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
with a strawberry drink.
Nah.
Cracker Barrel's chicken is the best I've had. Thank you, Uber Eats, for the. I, I'm not a Cracker Barrel fan.
Me neither. So they need to do their research on what Cracker Barrel means, and you may not want to eat that no more.
So yeah, I'm not a Cracker Barrel fan. Uh oh, here we got some facts now. Was founded in San Antonio, Texas. Mm.
That's somebody who probably loves their chicken when they know the story and the history.
Mm. So Miss Texas girl. Now,
I'm not from San Antonio. Texas is huge. I'm
here
from
we
the
go.
Northeast. We
Here we
do
go.
things a little different. Uh-huh.
Uh, all right then. So let's go on to close it out. You got any last fitting words for us?
I'm gonna let you in with a fitting word, like Mr. Host. Let you do that.
Hold on for a minute. She said, Miss Ann Why said, come see me without the chicken, the churches. Have you had their chicken? They call it chicken and biscuits by Cracker Barrel. Uh, and then somebody said, thank you for keeping the shows coming. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm telling you, on the serious side, you know, before we do any, and Miss NY's, Action they can all attest to it. We always do our prayer before we come on here, and the prayer is not for us to, uh, I guess, to entertain you or any. Well, I guess to entertain, but we also want to just bring light to certain situations. So, and with that being said, it ain't about us. It really ain't. We go through the same problems and struggles that we sit and talk about on the show, and we just try to keep it real with everybody. And that's what the whole purpose of the show is for. And that's the reason behind the door to expansion. We want to expand your mind and open it up because just like how we was mentioning, if you're in that same circle, you're not going to get all the same thing somebody else is going to get whenever their minds has been expanded. So thank y'all very much for tuning in. And I would also say, hey, if you can hit the share button or tell people more people about it, uh, like I said, I can care less about the viewership or how many people we have viewing, but what I do care about is trying to expand other people's minds. And if there's any topics that you want to hear about or you want us to talk about, please let them come in because that's what we're here for. I can do the research on it and we can go from there.
Hmm.
Oh, Stephanie, one thing I was going to talk to you about earlier, and this is Women's History Month. So
Okay.
I'm thinking about having a few ladies come on here and talk about they are in business, so they can come in here and talk about their businesses, and they have been in the military, so they can talk about their experiences being in the military as women and
Hmm.
outside of the military as far as open businesses up and going from there. So that's one of the things y'all can kind of look forward to. I just need to reach out to a few more people, and then you'll be seeing something like that come up. So if you would like to actually be part of that conversation, hey, please hit me up, shoot an email to me, say something to me, and we can make it happen.
I want to hear from those who are making boss moves these days. And let me get motivated.
I thank
Yeah.
you too. And as I always say, we not talking about small businesses. I don't use that word. I don't use that term. I'm talking about up and coming businesses. Uh,
Mhm.
we all ain't going to start off at at the top somewhere. So we
Yeah.
just up and coming. We ain't nothing small about us. Our mind is as our
Yeah.
minds have expanded more than that.
It's about strategy and vision. If you
Yes.
got that, you're on your way. Yeah.
Here we go. Family dealing with elderly parents. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you blew out hard on that one there.
No, because I mean, that's a reality for a lot of us. I
Yes.
mean, we will face that, with parents. That's, that's phase of life problem. I wouldn't declare it as a problem, but phase of life. That's a different transition. We go from birthing kids and raising families to it circles back around where we're, helping those who once fed, clothed, and birthed us. So, yep.
Okay. And death of a parent. That's another topic.
Mhm. Grief, yes.
Well, I'm gonna make sure my kids are actually watching whenever we start talking about family dealing with elderly parents. Uh, I already told them to put me in this little nursing home so that they ain't got to worry about me. And plus, I'm gonna have a lot of people, and I can just have fun with them.
Yeah. Like-minded people.
Yeah, like-minded people. We all lose. Hey, we all losing our mind and memories. So, hey, I go through. I'll have a new friend every day.
Look, I think we should gather up some of our friends, you know what I'm saying? Like Pam and all of them, like, and just like have some type of plan where they just put us all in one facility. It'll be great.
I would hate it for the workers though.
Boy.
All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and end this one right here. So my quote for this show right here is an arrow can only be shot by pulling it backwards. So when life is dragging us back with obstacles, difficulties, and challenges, it may
Mhm.
only mean that it's preparing to launch us into something great. So stay focused and keep on aiming, my friends.
Awesome.
You
Yeah.
got you got one?
I don't have a quote, but I'm going to say how to motivate yourself. Three
Okay.
simple tricks: create a positive environment, celebrate your small wins, and like I said earlier, surround yourself with motivated people. I think that'll get you off to a good start and keep you. That's a good start and maintenance to keeping that motivation. Yeah.
Mm. Wait, y'all. Until our next time. Oh, I'm just let you know we kind of stopped going week to week. So just be looking for our little posts. Most time is we probably come like two to three times a month if that regular. But like I said, it's mostly because we're just trying to get people to come in and find out what shows we need to be putting out here. One thing we don't want to do is just come in here and put any trash out to people. That's one of our biggest. That's a no no for me. So want to make sure it's all good and good for everybody. So just want to
Yeah.
put it out there.
And
But
we're working on keeping ourselves motivated through the week and things, aren't we? Yeah. So, yeah, just know in our absence, we're working on self and working on being better folks and giving better, topics and information out there. So, yeah. So we still working when we absent, right?
still working.
Still working. Yeah.
All right, now until the next time, y'all.